Hello, beautiful people. I hope you're wonderful in this Sunday morning. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. We're also, yes, that's Miss City playing with her toy, which she just dropped. Yeah, City. And don't forget to join the live today at 1 p.m. Texas time if you can. Now, Harry says that as soon as he finished his first date with Meghan, he went back to his flat with one of his mates. He got high on weed and drank tequila. And he said, hey, that this is a good weed. And then he watched a movie called, what's it called? Inside Out, I think it's called. Inside Out, which is a Disney movie. And 11-year-old Riley moves to San Francisco, leaving behind her life in Minnesota. She and her 5 core emotions, fear, anger, joy, disgust, and sadness, struggle to cope with her new life. Now, realistically speaking, I don't think Harry would have ever known about this movie unless it was suggested by someone on the first date. Now, what really gets to me is the following, and I'm going to read it to you. After his first date, these are excerpts from his book. After his first date with Meghan, he wrote, out came the tequila, out came the weed. We drank and smoked and watched Inside Out. Harry described himself as feeling peacefully numb and said it was good weed, dude. He then got a FaceTime call from Meghan and said to his mate, oh shit, it's her. That's not a good omen if you think it's somebody cool or somebody that you wanted to call you. She asked, are you watching cartoons? And Harry replied, no. I mean, yeah, it's Inside Out. What he fails to mention is that Meghan told him to watch it. Smitten, Harry added, I moved to a quiet corner of the flat. She was back at her hotel. She washed her face. I said, God, I love your freckles. That's insane. They're beautiful. The pair then chatted for a while before deciding on a second date at Soho House. So we know a few things here. Number one, Meghan showed up wearing Princess Diana's favorite perfume. From a woman who did not Google Harry, that's pretty telling. Because, that's pretty specific. Number two, she told him to watch Inside Out, which is a movie about somebody leaving everything they know to go somewhere else. Number three, that she went after this guy. She didn't wait for him to call her like they said before. Remember when they done all the interviews, they've said, that Harry was smitten and he called her next. And right, let's get our agendas out and see when we can see each other again. Remember that? It's everywhere in every interview they've done. Remember that? I think it was even in their engagement where he says, right, I like this woman. You couldn't wait to see her again. Let's get our agendas out and get our second date. Clearly didn't happen that way, did it? It was Meghan who went after Harry because there was no way on earth this woman was going to allow this fish to leave her net. Number three, Harry was stoned out of his mind when he agreed to go on a second date with Meghan. Now we know how she got her second date. And something really, really caught my attention here. Harry was allowed to leave Army base after it was locked down for random drug tests. Why? Is it because the Army knew he was doing drugs? There's something pretty terrible in the House of Windsor and Parliament that they have allowed. If this man is that much of an imbecile, it is incredible that he was allowed to go to Afghanistan to endanger the lives of soldiers. Not only the soldiers and the entire regiment that was looking after him, because people think he went down on the ground. No, he was in an Apache helicopter being the gunner. He was not the co-pilot. Okay? So this tells me a couple of things. Number one, we all know that Eton, where Harry attended, falsified the test results in order for him to be able to get into the military. Bad omen, number one. Number two, they were fully aware that he was high on drugs and doing drugs like crazy, and yet he was allowed to stay. Number three, they knew this man was mentally and emotionally, if it is true, because everybody now is trying to portray him as ill, if it is true that he's that mentally and emotionally unstable, that he was even allowed to join the military, because there's a severe screening for people to join the military, which clearly, had it been applied to Harry, he would have never been able to join. Now, I want to just talk about this, because this to me is very important. This is also from Harry's book. When discussing his own security arrangements, when Meghan asked him one night whether their protection would ever be removed, Harry tells her never, not in this climate of hate, and not after what happened to my mother. Also, not in the wake of my uncle Andrew. He was embroiled in a shameful scandal, accused of the sexual assault of a young woman, and no one had so much as suggested that he lose his security. Whatever grievances people had against us, sex crimes weren't on the list. Pretty serious, I'll tell you why. This indicates that Harry and Meghan were fully aware of their actions. They were criminal. The fact that Meghan committed perjury, this is not even... And the fact, what's so incredible, how Omid can lie. I don't know if it's all the Botox that he has and all the facial procedures that he's had done, that he can't actually show any emotion, but how he can lie with a straight face. No. But it tells me, whatever grievances people had against us, sex crimes weren't on the list. So they knew they were guilty of other crimes. I wonder if that is the fraud crime. I wonder if it is hiding or lying about Meghan carrying the baby. And then he goes, those stories about Meghan bouncing on a ball at Portland Hospital. We now know that Meghan's, in her mockumentary Netflix, she says that she didn't take pictures with the baby at Portland because of the emergency room and the ambulances would block. We now know there's no ER there. Yes, they do treat emergencies if they have to. And when they're really bad, then they send the people over. But it's not an emergency section, a place where ambulances are coming and going. That's the fourth lie she tells about why she didn't give a picture. First is because she's not going to give the picture. Nobody asked her. First, she said that the newspapers didn't ask her to take a picture of Archie. Second, she said that, why should I share a picture of my child with the people who call my child the N-word? Third, we now have that, she wanted privacy. Four, that is because the Portland Hospital has an emergency room, and her getting out of the Portland Hospital and having people take the pictures would have blocked the comings and goings of the emergency things. So I don't believe she carried Archie. If people are asking my opinion, I don't believe she carried Lilibet. Many have speculated whether Samantha's daughter, or eldest daughter, is the one who carried the child, the second one. So, the entire thing, it's incredible. The fact that Harry paints himself and says that he inhaled all of the laughing gas and left none for his wife. Meghan has so much money coming to her for her divorce, because that Portland Hospital run out of laughing gas. The entire hospital did not have another can of laughing gas. No, this book was written by Meghan Markle under the direction of Meghan Markle. In my mind, who writes stuff like that, embroiled in a shameful scandal? They knew they were bullying. They knew they were committing fraud. They knew they were doing all those things. And just to close up this last little thing here that I'm going to talk about, because this is very important. In the same breath, in the same pretty much couple of paragraphs in his own book, Harry again contradicts himself. Worried Prince William told Harry he has been brainwashed by therapist and royal row. Prince William wanted to sit in on Prince Harry's therapy sessions as he believed his brother had been brainwashed by his therapist, the Duke of Sussex claims in his bombshell memoir, Scare. A worried Prince William told Prince Harry that he believed he had been brainwashed by the therapist he was seeing, the younger brother claims. Harry, in Harry's new memoir, Spare, the Duke of Sussex outlines the moment he claims the Duke of Cambridge said he wanted to come along to one of his confidential therapy sessions. William wanted to do this as he was worried about what his younger brother was being exposed to, Harry claims. Harry also said that William thought he was unwell and unwise, as he planned to move abroad with his family and leave behind his life as a working royal. And then he goes, William also turned down Harry's offer of a joint therapy session with him, as he suggested the idea in order for the brothers to mend their relationship, telling William, it would be good for you, good for us, he claims. If Prince William is offering to attend one of their therapy sessions, yes, to watch, but I'm pretty sure to participate as well, because you just can't sit there and not participate. Why didn't Harry allow him to do that? I would have said, you know what? If my brother wants to come along, I'll hook him like this. I'll tell him, yeah. And once he's there, we'll talk about, issues that we have, and I can talk to him about it and see how we can sort it out. Did that happen? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And talking about sex scandals, Dirty Harry branded disrespectful towards women during Swiss ski trip, where he spent night with teen 8 years younger. Teen. He was in his early 20s. They don't say a young adult. They say teen. So when he talks about Prince Andrew, and he wanted to have this woman sign an NDA. I mean, this whole book is basically Meghan's divorce document to get everything from him. And I am going to just talk just one thing before I go. Because, it is something that is bewildering to me. The fact that the military army went along with allowing Harry to be part of the military, knowing full well that this was a man high on drugs, emotionally and mentally unstable. A man who clearly was a bigot, racist, and had no respect for anybody. A man who holds no accountability. And now, there's actually, for you to know, serious discussions about granting Harry full-time pay security by you, the UK taxpayers, because he has put a target on his wife, his children, and himself. And not only that, all the other royals. I've been saying for a while that this started from the moment they left with the racist allegations and the Oprah interview, and nothing was done. I said it then that increased the risk level for the remaining royals. Nobody said anything. Now everybody's talking about it. I've been saying this all along. If King Charles wants to help and soothe some or relieve some of that threat, he needs to turn Harry into a private citizen. He needs to remove the prince, duke, earl, and all royal titles, and make sure he is Henry Mountbatten Windsor. Some ladies wrote to me and said, Mountbatten Windsor, he can't be called Mountbatten Windsor. Yes, it is actually dictated that if you're going to be a private citizen and you're part of the royal family, immediate royal family, your last name would be Mountbatten Windsor. That was an agreement they had with Prince Philip, because it couldn't be Prince Philip, the working royals could not have his last name. So, and for people, if you want to write to Parliament has already spoken a few times about the titles. It is entirely up to the monarch to remove them. Okay? But the line of succession and the councillors of state, Parliament can do something about it. Write to Parliament and ask them to amend the Succession Act or Succession Bill, asking them to limit it, to amend it, so that only working royals or royals living and having been born in the United Kingdom can be in the line of succession. And number two, that the proof of the birth from the doctors saying that they pulled the children out of the woman's body, that law has to be reinstated again, because it was that was law up until Queen Elizabeth when she abolished it. That has to come back, but because people were thinking, a protocol, we're gonna. Everybody else has respected that. The Princess Diana, Princess of Wales, all the royal ladies except Meghan Markle. So you can do that. You can also request Parliament that they instruct the Metropolitan Police to investigate the racist allegations against the monarchy, the institution in the United Kingdom, and the bullying allegations and abuse allegations against the staff. That you can do, because that has nothing to do with royal titles or honors. You can do that, and you can ask for that to be made transparently and made public. That way, anything that when Meghan is interviewed, it's going to be like Amber Heard, that she was interviewed publicly. Because there's no doubt in my mind that the Queen intervened, or at least Prince Charles intervened during the Daily Mail trial to stop it from going to trial, because that's what Meghan Markle won. It wasn't that she won because she presented proof and it was a proper trial and she won the trial. What she won was the right to not take her thing to trial, to stop the trial from going forward, because the judge believed that she was an honorable, decent person, which of course we know now is not true. So I hope to see you on my live. If only Harry had written a book about his experiences growing up in such a privilege, and all the doors that it opened, his experiences in Eton, growing up with his mother taking him to all these charities secretly, what he learned from it, how grateful he was, what he learned from the Queen, all those amazing experiences that he had while he was representing the Queen, the advices he got from the Queen, his close relationship with the Queen while he was a working royal, how great his brother was with him. Because clearly William, in one of the things he says, he writes that William said, "Harold, you must listen to me. I just want you to be happy. Harold, I swear on mommy's life," which to William, who actually he does care about his mother, meant the world to him. Harry continued. He stopped. I stopped. Pa stopped. He'd gone there. Who writes like that? Meghan writes like that. He used the secret code, the universal password. Ever since we were boys, those 3 words were to be used only in times of extreme crisis. And you're telling me that this idiot couldn't pause? No. Harry was too bent on being the center of attention. People think that he's not loving being the center of attention. He is adoring being the center of attention, even if it is his downfall. Okay? He's not an idiot, because if he is, then the army, the military, has a lot to answer for allowing a man who's an imbecile, who's unstable, mentally and emotionally, who is a habitual drug user, into the military, endangering the lives of the soldiers. Now, many people have talked about the visa, how Harry got the visa to get in. He didn't get a special visa. He got a spousal visa. Now, he had to report. You can be denied entrance into the United States if you are supposed to be continuing doing, if you were considered to be a drug addict, or you were considered to be an habitual drug user, and you claim it on there, right? If Harry lied in his application, he can face 10 years in jail, because that's a felony crime, lying in an official government document. If he did not disclose that he was an habitual drug user, because we're talking that. He inhaled his wife's laughing gas while she was in labor. That is an addict, that you have to inhale. You take the drugs away from everybody just to take it for you. If he lied on that, that has to be investigated. And people in the United States, you can ask for that to be made public, to see if he lied in his application. Because if he lied, and Meghan Markle knew he lied, and let's not forget that Samantha's daughter is an immigration lawyer. If she helped them fill out those documents and lied on that application, she can be disbarred. She can face jail time. Harry and Meghan both can face jail time. Can you imagine those 2 kids, if they exist, watching this whole mess? What do you guys think?